All right, contacts. This is probably an area you're going to spend a lot of time in. So this is where your contacts are stored. And there's lots and lots of features and functions inside this. There's a menu at the top. So Smart Lists is where you're going to start. And the All button, that lists all of your contacts. Not all on one screen, it is paged. But you can set your page size. It automatically sets to 20, but you can expand it out to, say, 100 people if you want to have a long view of people. You've got things like bulk actions that you can perform. They'll appear here. We'll talk about some of those bulk actions shortly. You've got tasks. Those tasks you've created, they are listed in this area as well. So this is a place to go and check for tasks for the day. Companies are those, if you're grouping people by companies, then you can set up all of your companies in here. So you might have a secretary, CEO, CTO, salesperson, all in the same company. You can group them all together here. Now, smart lists, they're a way of organizing your contacts into specific areas. But what I'll do first of all is I'll jump into a contact, and you do that by clicking on them. There's three distinct areas for your contacts. The left-hand side is all the contact details. The center is where all your communication is. So emails, SMS, messages all appear in here. You can send email messages, SMS messages here at the very bottom. And you can even do, like, there are icons down the bottom to do things like inserting snippets. So a snippet is something like a signature. So you've got the ability to set up snippets for things like, it could be a phrase, thanks for your email. That could be a snippet. So if you click that, click the snippet, you don't have to keep typing it out. It just pastes itself in there. You can attach files and documents. You can use emojis, and you can also use it for requesting payment if you've got payments and products set up in here as well too. And then the right-hand side is the history of what's happened with the contact. So let me just jump over to the left-hand side first of all. There's a little toggle at the top here that says hide empty fields. That can be really helpful if you just want to hide anything that's not filled in and just see any of the detail that is filled in here. But I'll unhide it at the moment just so I can show you through it. So you've got the main section. Let me just close all these up. Okay, main section is contact. So that's their contact details, name, email, phone number, all that sort of thing there. And so you can add contacts manually in here, or they can come in by forms that you create. The next area is general information, and this is in there by default. This is their business name, sort of address, website, etc. Additional information is where these are fields here that you can add in for particulars that you want to collect or information that you want to collect. Bosio, again, that is mine. That's for people that are speakers. This here is for networking, if I'm meeting people at networking events. I've set those ones up specifically for me. And then you've got other form fields that you've created in a form. They appear here as well. Next down are tags. So tags are a way of organizing and managing your contacts based on some form of context. So for instance, I have tags here. Let's say Bosio speaker, business owner smashing an online speaker. Anyone applies to be a speaker on my show and they speak, they get assigned this tag, and I'll show you why that's important in a minute. Automations, so any workflows and automations, they appear here. You can add people to automations here, or you can remove them from automations in here. Opportunities, these are your pipelines to see where people are at in a particular process. You can add people to a pipeline, and we'll talk about pipelines in a minute. Simply by clicking that add, brings up contact details. There is a pipeline here. So this particular one, I want to add them to is the CRM Masterclass. So that's today's session. I've got that set up as a pipeline, and we can put them into a particular stage of that pipeline. So I'm going to say this person is actually registered. So you can manage people's contacts and opportunities in this area here. So you can do all of this from within their contact screen. Let's get rid of that. And if you're running courses, that's because the CRM will allow you to create courses. Again, it will show you what courses people are enrolled in, or if you want to assign them access to a particular course. And that course could be, you know, SOPs, systems and procedures manual for staff. It could be onboarding for clients. It could be sort of, you know, let's say if you're a mortgage broker, it might be sort of a, you know, a process, stages in a process that you want to give people education about. You can create that as a course and add them into that there. And then community groups. Community groups are things like very similar to, say, Facebook groups, where you'll manage people in, you know, cohorts or groups of people in a group. So again, you can add them to any of those groups there. It means you're not using Facebook for your groups, you're using it inside your own platform, which can be helpful from the point of view that when messages are posted in the community, all people can get the messages, rather than Facebook selecting that only 3% of people get them. D&D means do not disturb. That is basically your unsubscribe area. So if anyone's unsubscribed from emails, text messages, calls, voice calls, etc., then it appears in here. So, you know, the unsubscribe button at the bottom of your emails, if you see that red cross in there, that tells you that they are unsubscribed. So if they're not getting your emails, this will be why. Okay, on the right-hand side with your contacts, you can actually make a call. If you've got phone numbers set up in your CRM, you can click to make a phone call from right within your contact here. And what else? We've got some filters. If you're looking for particular things to do with the contact, let's say just invoices only, you can select that, and then it will filter and bring in only invoices in that middle column. So you can actually filter the middle column for the things that you want to see. Right hand side, this first column with the clock with an arrow around it, this is their activity. This tracks things like pages they've visited on your website, landing pages that they've visited, forms they've filled out, if they've contacted you through the chat app on your website. All of the activity appears in here, so you can see exactly what people are up to. You've got your to-do list in here, so you can add to-dos in here or tick them off. You've got an area here for adding notes for, you know, if you've had conversations with people. Any appointments that in the past, present or future, they appear in this appointment section. There is a documents section for things like people have signed documents with you or agreements. They'll appear in here as well against the contact. If anyone's purchased anything, any products and services, all their purchases and invoices appear in here. Or if you're sending out estimates or quotes, they all appear in here as well. So you can create, send out quotes, you can invoice people. You've got ability for subscription products, and then just standard transactions. The last one is probably not going to be entirely relevant for most of us. They're just associating various objects in the CRM to each other. All right, so that's inside the contact. I'm going to move through to, you'll notice at the top here, there are, you know, I've got this tag all, or this item all, but I've also got things like, say, Bosio registrants this week. So this is where I keep a list of people who've registered for the current webinar. We've got various other what we call smart lists in there. So what a smart list is it's a view of your contacts based on a set of criteria for you to easily come through and access. And you can create and delete smart lists at will. So this is a feature I use quite a lot. If you head over to the right hand side, there is a more filters area. Click on the more filters and you will get a list of all of the ways that you can group people together. So the most common one is by tag. So if I click on that and I'm going to say, let's select all of those people here who, let me just type something, who have got the tag CRM Masterclass. So this event here. Go down the bottom and click apply. Now, you do have the option to save that as a smart list or not. If you don't click save as a smart list, you'll just get to see it as a one-time view. Once you navigate away, the list will disappear. If you save it as a smart list, say event, then it will appear up the top row here or in your manage smart lists area here. Now these smart lists, you can move them around by dragging them so that they're in an order that makes sense for you up the top. Obviously not all the smart lists are going to fit in here if you've got lots of them. So if you click on event, now we can see how many people are in this event. And so you can do things like, if you select all of them, you might want to add, for instance, another tag to all of these people for let's say having attended this webinar, or let's say you want to send them out more information. So there are bulk actions you can do by just selecting all, or you can just select some of these people, and you can do things like add a tag, you can remove a tag, you can delete people, you can add, you can request a Google review from them. We'll come back to those ones. You can send them an email verification, or you might want to verify that their emails are accurate. So the system here does verify that people's emails exists, otherwise it won't send them the email. You can add them to a company. So remember I said you group people from the same company into a company. This is where you can add them in bulk. You can bulk WhatsApp people. So if you're using WhatsApp, let's say for communication, for a course program client segment, you can send a bulk WhatsApp message there. And you can also do things like merge contacts as well. So if you find that a contact is in here twice, but they've got two different email addresses, which is why they're in twice, you can click the merge button. And what will happen there is it will have all of the fields that are in all of those contacts. And then you just go through, first of all, and select which of these fields should be merged into the one master field. Then you'll select merge contact. It'll ask for a confirmation, and then it will go ahead and merge them. What's the other thing? We've got other items up here as well. You can add people, or you can to a pipeline, or change where they are in a pipeline. You can add them to a particular email sequence or automation sequence. You can send them an SMS in bulk, and you can send them an email in bulk as well. So there's lots of actions you can do from this top area of icons. All right, so that's your contacts. Opportunities. This is another area where you will spend a wee bit of time. Let me see any questions here as we go. I haven't been seeing if anyone's had their hand up. Okay, there are a few questions. Let me just answer those. Let's go back up to there. Oh, Gordon, how difficult is it to transfer, or how is it to transfer to go high level? Let's drop back into contacts. There's an icon at the top here for exporting contacts. So if you click that one with the arrow up, you can export all of your contacts and their information out of Go High Level into a CSV file. The other one here is for importing contacts. If you click on that and select contacts, as long as you've got a CSV file from another CRM, you would drag your file up into this area here. Once you click next, then the screen there will have you map the fields from your CSV file, so the headers of your CSV file, to the fields inside your CRM. So it's a very simple process to import people. What's not so simple is if you've got automations and email sequences in another CRM, that there you'd need to have a copy of the email address of the emails and the sequence, and you would have to rebuild it in here. There's no way to import or export and import those there, because each system works differently. Okay, what else? Is there a difference between ordinary emails that come through and conversations? No difference at all. So conversation is really just a term that refers to either any form of conversation. So whether that be chatbot, email, Facebook Messenger, something there. So the emails that come in, they're the same. You'll get the same emails into your inbox that you're using as well too. All right, Anita, why are there multiple records for each appointment, and how do we reduce this to one appointment filter? Oh, that's a good question. That is because I haven't assigned. Where are we? Is it? Let me find a week view. No, it wasn't there. Oh, it's in list view, I think. Here we go.
Yep.
Yep.
Thanks, Nick.
So what it is I've got a number of calendars. All of those calendars are checking my Google Calendar. And so it's pulling in all of those into each of my booking calendars. So although people are technically only booked in one booking calendar, this is saying these slots are not available. Now, I think, and it's on my to-do list, that there's a way of just sort of having those as just one list and that you don't get multiple items. So that one's on my to-do list to come back to you. Are you having that problem too, are you, Anita? Okay, yep, all right. Well, that's on my to-do list to look at how we can filter those to just one line. Actually, I think you probably customize it too, can you? Oh, that's just, you can filter it. Yeah, you can filter it. But I'll come back to you on that there.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And for calendars, group webinar, how do we set the custom URL? All right. Go to calendar settings. Let's go and select a calendar. And we'll click the edit. Actually, I should say these three icons here. If you want to share, so you've got edit the calendar, which is the pencil. This arrow is to share your calendar. So you can grab a link. You've got two sorts of links. One's a scheduling, one's a pretty link, you call it. And the other one is a permanent link. The permanent link will never change. This pretty link, if you change the name, change the URL of your calendar, then it will change and the old link won't work. So, you know, if you're embedding it in your website or whatever, then this is probably a better one to use because it never changes. You also got a one-time link as well. So if you don't want people to book with you multiple times, if you send them a one-time link, they can book once and that's it. So it means you get no pests coming to book appointments with you all the time for no reason at all, or spam bookings. And you can embed your booking calendar into your website using this embed code. If you click that copy button, it will copy all this code here, and you need to paste it into the code area on the page of your website that you want your booking calendar to appear. So that is HTML text. If you're not quite sure what to do with HTML text, you can't just paste it in the page where you normally paste or type in text. You've got to go into HTML view to paste it. If you're not sure about that, that's, you know, go to ChatGPT and ask them how to do it. They'll tell you to start with. Or if you've got a developer, then they should be able to do that fairly easily for you as well too. All right, and then you've got these tools. If you've got a problem with your calendar, that troubleshooting tool will help you with that. And there are some more options with this as well too. So one of the options is that if you want to duplicate your calendar because you want another one the same and just make some changes, you can do that too. So let's go in and edit the calendar. You can change the URL. So here where it says custom URL on the meeting details section, I've called it help-30. This is where you change the link address for your calendar.
But so how do we know to call it help-30?
You can make it whatever you want.
Okay.
What will happen is if someone else has already used that name, it won't allow you to use it. It will come up and say, no, you've got to choose another name.
Okay.
So it's got to be unique. Yeah.
So we just make one up. Great. Thank you.
And look, it doesn't matter if that is XYZ 1, 2, 3, you know, thing, because no one's ever going to look at it and read it. But this is really just for you, you know, a helpful link for you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Questions, Jeff? Yep. Thank you. Can we edit the existing tags? April, are you asking, can you edit the names of the tags? Was that your question?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, the name of the tags. How can we edit it?
Okay, good question. Let's come down to, so we are now in the settings menu on the left-hand side. What you'll see down the very bottom is an item called tags. If you click on that, this is where all of your tags are listed. Can you edit them? There you go. There's the 3 dots beside the tags. If you click edit, you can now edit the name of the tag. So you can change the tag names. So that's good if you're changing your naming conventions. One of the things I would suggest is that you do have a good naming convention for your tags. It is easy for you to get overwhelmed with tags. As you can see, I've got how many tags have I got? So at least 200 tags in here for various purposes. So just to give you an idea of a naming convention that I use, if people have purchased a product and I'm adding a tag to them for a product purchase, I always use product : and then I'll put the product name after it. So you can see that I've got a number of products that people have purchased. It means that when I'm viewing the tags, all of the product tags appear in alphabetical order in one area. I've got tags for things like list. So list : So the other day I was speaking at an accountants meeting. I offered them something to download, and so with that I've tagged them all as list, and then AI for accountants. So I happen to be talking about AI to this group of accountants. So create a naming convention that makes sense for you to keep your tags in an orderly manner. While I'm here too, custom fields. If there is specific information that you want to add or you want to collect from your contacts, you do that in these custom fields. You set these up in the custom fields area, and it is as simple as adding a custom field. These are like form fields. So you've got single line, you've got multi-line, which is a bigger box. You've got text boxes, numbers, if you're looking for just numerical values, phone numbers, a currency. You have drop downs for single, multiple drop downs, radio select, check boxes, date pickers, if you're wanting people to select a date, file upload, if you're collecting files from people like images, headshots, bios, that sort of thing, and a signature box if you're wanting people to sign documents. That's your signature. So you can simply just select, say, in this case, single line, give it a name, and then you can decide where you want to place the information. Do you want it with the contact information, with general information, which is generally company information, or additional information? You can create other areas for it as well too, but they're generally where you're going to save it. So again, to answer Gordon's question, before you upload contacts from a CSV file from another CRM, make sure you've got all of the custom fields in here that are going to map through to the information that you're importing into the CRM. The other thing I would say about it too is that sometimes always evaluate whether the information is necessary or important for you to have for the contact. Otherwise, you'll end up with so many custom fields that can be overwhelming. But again, you can group them into folders, and so you can create folders for specific sets of information. So if, for instance, you are in, let's say you sell real estate, for instance, and you've got real estate clients, there's information you need to get off them, then you can create a folder there for, let's say, real estate, and then you can put everything that's, all the custom fields are related to that into that field there. So you can see I've got for Bosio, business owners smashing online, these custom fields relate to anyone that's speaking, that's filling in a form for speaking on my show. This is the information I capture, and I just capture it in that one folder that I can collapse in their contact record. All right, let's go back. Now, any other questions? Where were we? There are a few questions here. Can we add existing tags? Yep. Okay. Yep. Is there a pricing differential depending on the number of contacts you have in CR and GHL? Really depends on the agency. For ICNXN, there's no different. You can have as many contacts as you like in the CRM. That was one of my frustrations with some of the CRMs, is that every time you stepped up to the next level, you got hit with another charge for contact. So this one, you can have unlimited contacts in it. I may be stupid, but this is what it is at the moment, and it will always be for anyone that is on this plan at the moment.
Nick, are you there?
Yep.
Just on that, thanks for answering, because I've run into that problem as well. Last night on Bosio, you happened to also mention that you had managed to eliminate the need for having Calendly because Go High Level already includes it, and that was a saving for you. As
Yeah.
you've taken us through this morning, you've given us the base price, which is attractive, but you have had a few other add-ons, depending on if we wanted extra features. Is there anything else like Calendly that we wouldn't need if we were to go with Go High Level?
That's a good question. So let me just go back to the screen and I'll tell you what I've replaced with it.
Yeah, thank you.
So definitely Calendly with the calendars. Obviously the contacts and automation. So that's any other CRM. Phone numbers, SMS messages. So I don't need I was using, what was it called? I think it was Click SMS. So I don't need to subscribe to another SMS service to send out SMS messages. So it's a pay per use in here. So it's something like 0.03 cents or whatever for an SMS. I just had a look at the pricing that I've spent this month for sending out SMS messages and emails. I think it's cost me $5 for the 7,000 emails that I've sent out. So that just give you some context for what it's likely to cost you for